Good morning. Good morning, everyone. Welcome to today's portrait practice. It is much earlier than my usual live streaming time, but I thought, well, actually, Kira suggested to me, she was like, how about you just stream in the morning and then you can go to bed at bedtime? Because I have had this feeling of increasing sleep deficit and just being tired all the time. So yeah, here I am in the morning and we're about to work on this live stream sketch together. And I'm so happy to be able to do this. I don't know how many people are going to see this live because it's an unaccustomed time. But we're going to work from this very cool portrait photo taken by Anton Cobain for real, who you can find on Instagram here, who has so many super cool photos. And it's of Tom Waits, and I chose this one today because I opened Instagram, and often I open it and there are terrible things in there because there's just so many terrible things going on. But I saw this post by Science and Non-Duality, which was a quote from Tom Waits that said, "We have a deficit of wonder. I think it's because of computers. When I ask people questions now, they get on their computer. Give me a few minutes, I'll let you know." And I'm like, no, I want them to wonder about it, man. I don't want to know the answer. I just want them to wonder about it. And I thought that was a beautiful prompt to wonder and not always go straight to the answers and devices, and thought that was really cool. So I was like, hey, that's great. Let's draw Tom Waits. So I thought I was going to start a new page, but I have this gap in this spread that I've been working on, and I just felt like this is a conspicuous gap here. If you've been following on the past few days, here I've got Ian Goldsmith and Nicole here, Phoenix, Cher from yesterday, and then there's this gap in the middle. I was like, this could be not a gap, and I'm going to use the same method of drawing, but I thought there's so much graphite going on, and it could be different. And I broke a pencil lead of a magenta pencil, and it's right here. And I like this color so much, and I was a little bit sad when I broke it, and I thought maybe I can still use it. So I do have some backup pencils of this pencil, but I'm going to work with the same method of like starting with shapes. And this is such a cool photo for shapes. Hello, Klaus. So nice to see you here. I see, amazingly, that there are 5 people watching. So I'd love you to say hello in the chat, and we'll get right into this portrait. This morning portrait. I guess as I'm pushing this around, you're not going to be able to see what's going on so much, but then as I remove my hand, it will be like, oh, look, there's a drawing. We'll see how it goes. I don't usually work with these. Oh, it looks like that. It's like a tiny little pencil stump. How am I going to do this? What are people up to today? After this, I'm going to photograph a bunch of my paintings and drawings and all of the watercolors that I did last month. I'm going to share them with my Patreon supporters. So there is a coffee support tier, and it's not the video support tier, it's half as much, but people who are just interested in supporting my creative output and everything I share can support me via Patreon. And for the coffee tier, I grant access to a folder of like high resolution images of my work, an archive, if you will. And it's been a while since I updated it, and I really like. I'm going to take a photo of a bunch of the pieces I've been working on in the live streams as well, because it's been a while. I was just thinking about it yesterday. I was like, wow, it's nearly the end of May, and we've been doing this daily practice since the beginning of December. So that is, maybe someone's quicker at math than me. Maybe someone can figure out how many portraits we've been working on during the the daily practice, but there's quite a lot, and there's many of them which I have really had interesting moments with, where I've been like, oh, this is really cool. I could explore more of this. I could do more of that, or like insightful and educational drawings where I'm like, how am I even going to do this thing? Because I've been setting different kind of themes and challenges throughout the months, working with different media, or not. Yeah, I have been working with lots of different media, but working with different ideas of how to make a drawing, which has been interesting. So we started in December, which was the Advent 10-minute portrait challenge, is what I called it. Although some of those portraits turned into half-hour pieces and maybe more. But in the month of December, I was mainly trying to stick to 10 minutes. And then in January, it was continuous line drawing. And February was pure line drawing. March was shadow shapes. And April was watercolor sketching. And this month, I'm trying to work on portraits without line. So I'm starting in a very shapy, looser way than I usually do, because has been my tendency to get straight into the line, which I love, and I'm definitely going to go back to. But I've just thought it's been an interesting exercise for me to be like, oh, what is it? How do I look differently, think differently if I'm creating the image from a different starting point? And yeah, that's kind of the different things I've been going through. And there's been some very, very cool kind of insights along the way, which I've also been making videos of to share with my Patreon supporters. Each month, the theme of the month, I have been making a tutorial in addition to the daily sketching practice. So this is kind of interesting and ghostly right now. The shapes are in there. They're not as dark as I'd like them to be, and there's an interesting kind of looseness. Not much definition yet, but it's really hard to work just holding this in my fingertips. So we'll see what happens when I'm going to smudge some of this around. So I know this is not the time I usually do this. So many of the people who usually join may be asleep or at work or who knows. But if this time is good for you, I'd be interested to know, because I may do more of these morning live streams. And the whole idea of this practice is to, like, I'm always looking for interesting things to draw, interesting people to draw, interesting images to draw from. And the daily consecutive practice is really just such a great foundation for learning, trying out new things, just in deepening our understanding of the material we're working with and how we represent the things that we see. So I really enjoy being able to share this, because I'm getting so much out of this daily practice, and I hope that you are too, and I know that many people are. So that's been really fun. The Discord server is great. It keeps growing. You can join that. The link is in the description. I'm going to use this now. So I would like a bit more, and maybe I'll layer up some darker color on top of that. But it was interesting to start like that. Or actually, I noticed look at this. I was sharpening or smoothing a pencil, and I'll just sneak this over the side. This intensity is from this pencil, and I usually never go that hard and fill in the pigment that much. But it was really interesting to realize, oh wow, like with a bit more pressure, can really fill in the shapes in a really interesting way, like really block in some really dark value and full on kind of saturation, the intensity of these polychromos pencils. So that's yeah, I was just thinking maybe I'll grab a different darker color, but I really enjoy being able to do as much as possible with one tool. It's also great to mix it up and have different ones, but like to fully explore the extent of what's possible with this pencil. It's really interesting, like to notice the subtlety, the boldness, the full intensity, to have it all. And that's often really interesting. Like I notice when my kids draw, they go really hard with the pencils, and they fill in a lot, really a lot of pigment, and they really like that full dark intensity of what is possible of the pigment, of the pencils, the pens, whatever it is. That's interesting to notice. I was chatting with Martina about what I had said about me thinking back in the day. I used to think that watercolor was just like you couldn't really get dark with it, and of course there are really artists who are doing incredible dark, really contrasty things, and I was thinking maybe it's just my own kind of, I don't know what it is, if it's a reluctancy to really go dark, which is, when I work with ink, is not an issue at all, but maybe there's something in the way I make things in practice that, like, I've often gone in really build things up in a subtle way, or just maybe like don't go full intensity. And I guess that's why working with ink then was when I had my ink phase, where I really, at the suggestion of my mentor at the time, she was like, just use ink. It's really going to teach you a lot about your decision making. And the boldness of ink is something that I become, like the clarity. It's just clear that it's dark, and I guess it's interesting. Just me talking to myself at the moment. Oh, Claire is here. Oh, my good sister. And Isadora Artur. Bonjour. Claire appreciates the different time. Tom waits for none. Is that none or no one? Oh, good, it's my sister. So nice to see you, Claire. Claire, my dear sister, has a YouTube channel about having a YouTube channel, which is really cool. If you're interested in such things, check her out. That's one of her YouTube channels. Claire got me onto using YouTube back in the day. It's like, you're doing so much all the time anyway, you could totally put that all on YouTube. And here we are, after I don't know how many consecutive days of daily live streams at the moment. A lot of days. Hey Cindy, it's good to have a YouTube channel, says Claire. Yes, Cindy's here. So this is the first time streaming this early, but it may become a regular thing, and I wonder who's able to be here at this time. Because my nighttime streams have become later and later, because it's getting brighter and brighter, and the kids don't go to sleep, and for whatever reason, just kind of keeps pushing later. And sleeping earlier could be good. And just having time in the evening with Kira or with the kids, being able to read without thinking, oh, I've got to read now, end this chapter because I got to go live stream. How you doing, Claire? Aquarelle Academy. Nicole is here. So you have me is a response to who likes this time? You like this time, Nicole? Thank you, Nicole, for noticing my development in the little Instagram live where I invited you to come over here. Because it's, I don't know, not something I reflect upon a lot. But it would be interesting. I feel like it's so varied, so many influencing factors. The daily practice is definitely, it's like just to like be constantly doing it, making things like, I don't know, I've had phases in the past where it was kind of my daily, my weekly Zoom session where I would do every Tuesday, everyone's invited, 2 hour Zoom session where we sketch between 30 seconds and 6 minutes. Sometimes I had phases where that would be the only thing I did all week. And then at least once a month I would film a tutorial and other things going on, and I felt like I didn't really have a strong routine apart from the weekly practice, which is also really beneficial and great. But just making the time to do it every day definitely, it makes sense that it leads to development, and that's what I kind of would encourage everyone, even if it's 5 minutes a day. I know these are much longer, the ones I've been doing recently, but I'm going to do some 5 minute ones again, or 10 minutes in future, because I've said repeatedly that even if it's 5 minutes, it's worth it. And then I go on to do these longer live streams. But yeah, it's good to have time to be able to focus, expand into something, make something a bit longer. And all of those things that we practice can expand and develop them in a different way as well. This time is good. That's good. Claire says Emily is already asleep. She had a big day of playing. Amazing. Asleep at 6. Send my love to Emily. And Nina and herself. It's amazing that you all have birthdays so close. Happy birthday, Nina. And Emily and Claire. Hey Claire, when's Dad's birthday? Is it tomorrow? I'm thinking it's tomorrow. But I realised this morning, I was like, is it tomorrow? Or is it today? Do I need to get off this live stream and call Dad? Tomorrow, good. You have a birth week. Nicole won a ticket to the Grisum, which is on Saturday, which I'm very excited about. That was nice. It's nice to be able to give things away to people that you know. Greece has invited me to be his guest in the Grisum, which is Saturday, and we're going to work on a portrait of Hans Heissen, or Hans Heissen, or Hans Heissen. I'm getting confused about how to pronounce his name. So Claire and I grew up in a town in Paramank country in so-called Australia, Mount Barker, and the neighbouring town is called Harndorf. And I didn't think much of it at the time, but now that I live in Germany, and I'm not German, and we don't have, as far as I know, we don't have like German heritage, but we grew up next to Handorf and Lobetal and and this influential painter, I would say. I don't know if his influence extends all the way around the world and across Australia, but I know that Dad really loved his work, and he has these really iconic paintings. And in the Art Gallery of South Australia, there's some beautiful work by him. So I thought, that could be an interesting person to draw and a topic of conversation. That somehow, and I haven't thought about him and his work for so long, but feel like I grew up surrounded by his imagery. Didn't we have coasters that had Hans Heissen paintings on them and stuff? We're going to work on his portrait, Gries and I, together. And you, if you're coming to the Griesum, people can still go get tickets from Gries's website. All right, how are things going? All of the chickens. Yeah, and I think it was Jochen who told me. He's like, it basically means chicken village. It's like rooster village. Everyone had those coasters. That's why he's such an influential artist, because everyone was drinking their cups of tea and putting their cups down on Hans Heissen's paintings, which is interesting. Oh, taking Dad to the Aviation Museum. Nicole will come. Excellent. I hope so. You want a ticket? But I look forward to seeing you and everyone else there. I'm feeling this shirt a bit, and I don't know, I feel like that's kind of done. If you've made it all this way, you can put a drawing hand emoji in the chat. And if you're a Tom Waits fan and you've made it all this way, and you get to hear this question, let me know your favorite song. And thank you to Science and Non-Duality for sharing that great quote about wondering. Let's invite more wonder into our lives and not just always grab the answer, but spend more time in a state of wonder. That's interesting. Is being in a state of wonder the same as wondering? I wonder. But to be in awe of something and not instantly have an explanation for why things are the way they are, that's a special kind of state to be in. All right. Hope you all have a wonderful day. And thank you for being here. Especially those of you who were able to get on here so spontaneously and join my morning live stream. If you're interested, you could support me on Patreon. Or you could buy me a coffee. I'm about to go make a coffee after this and get some stuff done. Okay, I feel like this spread needs a little... Oh, cool, Nicole, you love his music. That's great. You're here for the stream and love his music. So the full image by Anton Cobain for real is so cool, and I strongly recommend that you go check out his Instagram, because so many amazing photos in there. I'll just see. I'll show you the full image because it's really a strong image. And I'll show you this spread because I'm so there's something going on here at the moment. I'm going to spend a bit more time on this because now we've got Phoenix in the middle, and also the transition between Phoenix and Cher is kind of a bit like undefined, and I'm going to see how I can make them work together. And I'll definitely share the results in future streams. I'll be able to just show you, but if you're not yet following me on Instagram, I would love you to, because that's where I'm most active at the moment. And yeah, tag me if you're showing your work there. Join the Discord server because it's lots of fun. And there was a movie with his music. I'm not sure which movie that is, but I'm sure it would be great to watch. Have you seen it and don't remember the title? It's great. Here's the full image by Anton Cobain, and it's so good. If you check out Anton's Instagram, it's just full of incredible photography. And just when I saw the shapes here, I just thought, wow, this is so cool. This would be so nice to sketch from. So thank you, Anton, for making such beautiful photos. Thank you, Tom. And thank you to all of you for being here. And I will see you tomorrow. Perhaps at a similar time tomorrow. We shall see. Enjoy the rest of your day. And thumbs up, like and subscribe. Yeah, see you tomorrow.